All right, we're doing our radio show, and we're just going through some questions, discussing. Yes, it is on, Tom.
Okay.
All right. So far, to start off, we have Nick Antonini.
You mean Darwin of Love.
This is the radio show. Paul Tunick, Thomas Ella, and Michael Walter. We're discussing our ideas. So, should we do breakup questions? Yeah. Should we do tell me about your perfect first date? Give you a videotape of what it does to make a real radio show. Our inspiration is, who's that? The girl.
Delilah.
Delilah.
I thought there really was like a Dr. Love.
I don't know. Well, that's
Like a 99.5.
yeah.
No, wait, no, it's Love Line. That's what it was.
Delilah is like, people are just like, hey Delilah, like, 2 years ago today, like 2 years ago today, my daughter got ran over by a recycling truck. This was like her favorite song. Can you play the song? She's like, oh, you're so strong. Like, oh, I'll play that song for you. Thanks for calling. Like,
Do you guys want the questions in advance?
Fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna say.
well, I mean, we can stop the recording after that and be like, all right, what are you gonna ask? And just think like, do like one and then a follow up and then stop it. Do one more, a follow up.
Yeah, that's excellent, actually. And then we can, that will make me able to separate it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's really great. Are you ready to turn it on?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what I'm gonna say. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that too. I'm like, me too.
For like the tell me about yourself thing.
Tell me about your perfect first date is the first one. Or do you want me to...
I think we'll cut before the questions.
Okay.
This way we can be like, what are you gonna say?
I think we should talk about what we're gonna say for these before we just improv.
Oh.
You know?
Improv is
We're
live.
gonna say, hey, it's gonna be like, hey, this is
Everyone's
Big
loving
Gap, or
everything.
this is Michael Jackson here, DS106 Radio. This is our show, Trapped in a Closet with Dr. Love. We got 3 guests today. Obviously Dr. Love's here.
Yeah. We have 2
and then
other
you'll
special guests.
Yeah, and be like, give a warm welcome for Dr. Love, and like in a radio show they would just play like a fake clap sound,
Mhm.
and then he'll be like, hey, Dr. Love here. Thanks for having me.
Got my PhD in love.
Got my PhD in love.
Love University.
And then he'll be like, I'm excited to talk tonight about my favorite thing, love. And then you'll be like,
Love.
thanks for coming, Dr. Love. And then you'll be like, we also have P Tuna over here, and I'll be like, hey, it's me, P Tuna.
So just give me this when you're done introducing yourself so I can catch the next person. All right.
Are you writing your thing?
I don't know what I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say.
gonna start writing some stuff down.
Okay.
So I have like a
If you want to use my...
lonely guy.
Yeah.
Just like eating sushi by yourself.
It's like, how's it going, girl? You're like,
Doctor Self-Loving here.
No, you should for that one it should be like something about like you post something on the internet. Like it should be like you, and instead of like how do you approach a girl, you
So,
Sorry.
like, well, first you open up Facebook and
first you
go to her,
you go to her your Cupid profile. Or
Okay,
Cupid
Cupid.
profile.
It actually helps if you look at her interests first. Lets you get a little feel for who she is,
Just
what she's
so
all about.
creepy. And Paul, you can be like...
I like to look at her interests first, so I can say that all of her favorite bands are my favorite bands.
Yeah, I went to that concert last night. That's so funny.
Then I spontaneously played off like, yeah.
That's what I mean. Is I'm just gonna. There's lots of yeah.
Oh, I tell them,
Yeah.
I tell them pretty girls.
I'm just gonna say.
What?
Yeah.
Do you want to say it once before we start?
No, I'm just gonna change it to Avril Lavigne.
Perfect.
Sarah McLaughlin's always...
I don't think, is she alive still?
Yeah.
Okay, then Sarah
You
McLaughlin.
listen to dead people's music.
Celine Dion, that would be
Absolutely
better.
not. Whitney Houston, you're
Yeah.
dead.
I can improve.
I thought you were funny.
No.
I thought that sounded fine.
Alright, I'll keep it. I think when we do it,
We should just
when we
re-record
do
it.
more, we should just re-record it because it just always gets better with practice.
Okay. All right. So, Tom, what do you think about making a radio show? Easy, harder?
It's a lot harder than I would have expected, There's a lot of personalities you gotta deal with, a lot of divas. Personality clashing, everybody wants to be... everybody wants to be the main guy. But it's tough, It's tough when you're the star of the show and everyone wants to claw the way up to the top.
So, Nick, do you think it's easier, harder? How do you think this compares to what you think it would be to make a radio show?
I think it's a lot easier. It's a lot more fun than I imagined. And by fun, I mean just laughing the whole time instead of actually doing the radio show.
It was pretty fun making the radio show. We had a good idea to go off of, so it was easy, and I just slipped right in as another character, so it wasn't too hard. And the other guys were really funny. My favorite part was probably when we started recording, how we would think of like funnier and funnier things to say, like, you know, trial and error. We would record it, and then, you know, it wasn't quite there. The timing wasn't exactly right on the jokes and stuff like that. So after, you know, 1 or 2 recordings, we would start laughing in the middle of the recording because it was actually that funny. Yeah, it was also interesting to see like how, you know, timing works in a lot of these things, like when you're, because they can't see you, but you've said your thing and you're like looking at the person like that, like, all right, your turn to speak again. He's like making sure you're actually done. And yeah, the hardest part was probably the timing, like I said, and trying to be funnier than the other guys because they were saying some pretty funny stuff, so I had to step up my game a little bit, write some funnier stuff. And
my favorite part of the radio show has to be when we all met together. It seemed like everyone just fed off each other. Everyone liked each other's idea. If there wasn't a good idea, which there really wasn't. Every idea was so new, so classic, and if it wasn't new, we just made it even better. And it was better because it had been done before. Tom played Dr. Love way too well, like scarily well. Nick, the creepy guy, I don't even know where he got his inspiration from. And Paul was just a genius. He was the glue. He was just, when we were stuck on something, he got us there. And working on a radio show seems pretty easy, I'm going to be honest, not too hard. I mean, imagine like 50 years ago, yeah, that's really difficult. But now we have freesounds.com, just like everything you can need to make a radio show. I'd say the hardest part was actually getting together. We had to make the sound really good. Tom was excellent at that, and it really was just a fun project.
Hey there, I'm Thomas Ella, and welcome to The Love Den. This is where I've been editing a lot of Trapped in the Closet with Dr. Love and thinking of you. And yes, this is a Zebra Snuggie. I'm on spring break. But, you know, there is the whole technical... Hold on, let me just turn that down. So, you know, there is the whole, like, technical aspect of working on Trapped in the Closet with Dr. Love. And, I mean, that's been a pretty cool learning experience, you know? Like, I mean, it's a creative project, so it's always fun to work on, even, like, during some of the more, like, a little bit tedious parts, like balancing out everyone's audio levels and stuff, and getting rid of some awkward pauses. But, you know, I mean, we've done a show that probably no one should ever have done, and no one should ever listen to, and that's awesome. And we're doing it for a grade. How cool is that? But, you know, I really appreciate that we've gotten to do it, and it's a cool learning experience. Like, I didn't really anticipate, you know, acoustics and mic placement and how far away everyone is. I didn't really think about that while we were recording, so, I mean, you really find out later as you're editing this stuff, like, what you should have done. And, you know, all the other stuff that we've been able to do has been really cool, too. Like, I wanted to make the cover for Trapped in the Closet with Dr. Love look like a 70s porno box. And sure enough, you know, I made it look like a 70s porno box. I mean, I went to Google search, and I typed in sexy male doctor, and I turned safe search off, and, you know, I just picked the one I liked the most. Let's just say that. So, you know, I really like how that turned out, and then I put together a little blooper reel with... Turned out the only bloopers I had were of Nick screwing up. I don't know if that's because he's the only one who screwed up out of us, but it seemed that way. But, I mean, it was fun to put together. I mean, the whole thing's been fun to put together. I mean, it's a creative project, and it's cool, and I'm glad we're getting a grade for it. That's awesome. I mean, like I said, like, this is not something that should have been done. Or, I don't know, like, I hope we shouldn't listen to this. Trapped in the Closet with Dr. Love is not something that people should listen to. But we're going to.